You wake up and check if you're still property. You are. Specifically, government property for sex work. The official title is Kisaeng, which sounds classier than hereditary prostitute, but your tax classification is the same as cattle. At least cattle don't wear lead-based makeup. You've been in the Gijo, the courtesan registry, since birth because your mother was a Kisaeng, which means you're a Kisaeng, which means your daughter will be a Kisaeng. It's called Jongo, following the mother. The Hojang, a government official whose entire job is tracking sex workers, like the IRS tracks offshore accounts, visits twice monthly to confirm you haven't fled. Running is punishable by death. Your virginity was auctioned at 12. You have maybe 5 profitable years left before they warehouse you with the expired inventory, assuming syphilis doesn't speedrun your retirement. Welcome to being a Kisaeng in Joseon, Korea. You sit up. Your mother is in the back rooms where they store expired Kisaeng. She's 32, basically ancient in courtesan years. You're 17. Most Kisaeng tap out by 27, assuming disease doesn't accelerate the timeline. Getting dressed takes 40 minutes because your costume is designed for male viewing pleasure, not human functionality. The hanbok is 4 layers of silk you can't pee in without assistance. You tie the chima at your waist instead of your chest. That's the marker. Respectable women tie theirs above the breasts. Government-registered prostitutes tie at the waist. One handspan of fabric broadcasts exactly what you are. At least it's expensive. Hair gets stabbed full of decorative pins that cost more than a farmer's annual income. Face paint made with lead that's slowly poisoning you. Lip paint. Every detail perfect because imperfection means demotion to the dock taverns where you service sailors for rotten fish and die screaming at 19. You're not getting dressed. You're becoming a product. You were sold at 7. Parents got paid, you got a career. A woman called the Heng Su inspected you like livestock. Fingers long enough for instruments, face pretty enough to sell. She'll do. Training started immediately. 10 girls. Half become high-class prostitutes. The rest go to dock taverns. You learn to sit motionless while men stared. Pour tea without ripples or get beaten. Smile while being touched. Questions are for people with rights. At 12, they auctioned your virginity. A merchant, 53, smelling like fermented regret, 1. You survived by counting ceiling beams. 47. He wasn't ambitious. Fail an inspection, and you learn about Changhyang. Beating with a heavy stick. They strip you, expose your bare buttocks and thighs, then bring down a wooden club shaped like an oar. Most people lose consciousness after 10 strikes. You're expected to endure it professionally. You lasted 6 before everything went black. They demoted you anyway because unconsciousness is bad for morale. If you really mess up, there's Meong-seok Mari, reckless beating. They wrap you in a straw mat and club you from above until something breaks. Ribs, spirit, often both. The government officially prohibits this, which means it happens constantly, but nobody writes it down. Your body is government property, but your pain is your own problem. Meeting a Gisheng isn't simple. It's financial hazing. A man contacts the Urite who decides if he's rich enough to breathe your air. Then comes the 3-meeting ritual. First meeting. You sit across the room and don't speak while he spends a fortune proving he can afford you. This is foreplay for his wallet. Second meeting. You sit closer, maybe acknowledge his existence. He spends more. Third meeting. You're finally allowed to be human. You laugh at his jokes whether they're funny or not. Then you have sex with him. The bill reaches modern 6 figures. Your cut, 10%. The rest covers room, food, clothes, oxygen, existence. Everything goes on your tab. You don't get paid. You accumulate debt. Every hairpin itemized. The brothel owner decides when you've earned enough for freedom. Never. The math was designed by someone who failed math, but excelled at trafficking. Some Gisheng didn't get sold. They got sentenced. Female relatives of men convicted of treason were condemned to Gisheng status as punishment. Your crime. Being related to someone the king didn't like. Your sentence? Hereditary sexual slavery for every daughter you'll ever have. At least criminals get execution. You get generations of government-mandated exploitation dressed as culture. Maybe you're one of the 1,000 women King Yunsangun captured to serve as Palace Gisheng. He turned the nation's top educational institution into his personal brothel. You were trained as a medicinal healer. Now you pour wine and smile on command. When he's eventually dethroned, his sons get beheaded. You just get transferred to the next administration. The registry doesn't care about regime changes. When you get pregnant, and you will, you have 3 options. Keep the baby and condemn her to the registry in 3 days. Drink lye and hope the internal burns don't kill you before the fetus does. Or hold her underwater in a basin while the party continues upstairs. You choose option 3. You don't sleep for a week. The clients who impregnated you never know she existed. The registry doesn't record this. They only track the ones who survive long enough to get names. When you get sick, and you will, your customer service rating drops. Disease rates hover around 7% optimistically. Servants who called you Kisaeng Nim develop selective amnesia. Clients who swore devotion activate ghost mode. You end up in a cold room under the stairs listening to the party upstairs. You were never a person. You were a subscription service. Discontinued subscriptions don't get parties. When you stop breathing, the brothel doesn't wait for sunrise. No family claims you. They sold you at 7. Your body gets hauled to the cemetery before dawn. No funeral, no marker, no family name. Just Monghwa. Thousands in mass graves. Bodies that used to be Kisaeng. But maybe you don't die young. Maybe a minister takes interest at 26, then ghosts when you're pregnant. Labor, 16 hours, biting leather. A girl. 1 hour with her before the Hangzhou inspects. She passes. 3 days later, your daughter's name enters the Gijo. Daughter of Kisaeng becomes Kisaeng, company policy. You name her Yuni, Silver Rain, because her life will offer nothing else beautiful. At 31, you become a Hangzhou, training the next generation. You become the woman who inspected you at birth. It sucked to be a Kisaeng, not because you lacked talent or beauty or resilience, but because the system was designed to consume you completely, while calling it culture. You survived in it. You carried it. You perpetuated it because watching your daughter enter the cage alone was worse than entering together. And somewhere in the registry, your daughter's name waits. The cycle doesn't break. It doesn't pause. It just continues. One generation bleeding into the next. Silk covering chains, covering bones, covering nothing but the lie that any of this was ever beautiful. The government keeps meticulous records of every Gaijing who ever existed. Your suffering was filed, cataloged, and preserved as history. They wrote down your name, your debts, your inspections. They recorded every payment, every client, every performance. They documented the silk you wore, the songs you sang, the poetry you composed. They tracked your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. They'll track your daughter, your granddaughter, and every girl born after. The ink never fades. The pages never burn. They just never wrote down that you mattered.